smoke. Done now, that fucking morning smoke. Rock you, boy. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Wonderful day in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Alright. Chill out.
You wear the mask and shit today?
Eh?
You wear the mask when you walk in and
Yeah,
shit?
yeah, I have to. Can't take the bus without wearing it, you know?
Oh, you can't go on it?
No, you have to have it on.
You notice, since you're working, you notice the bus is empty?
Yeah.
It's not like full like before.
No.
Crazy. When you take away the head, what happens to the body? So a lot of these motherfuckers been running around without a fucking head for the last few months or last year now, since COVID been going on. You just get up to par or be left behind. That's what we're in right now. Get your life together or get left behind. What the fuck? I ain't good with words. Iterate. I'll say regurgitate. A lot of the shit I was saying fucking yesterday on my stream, which is not there no more. I said a lot. Oh, people caught that shit. People forget to look at the game of life like a school. Life is like a school, right? Just look at the whole world like an institution, especially here in North America. Look at it like an institution, right? You got different grades and shit like that. Pass a grade certificate. You got some people that skip the grade because of their intelligence, right? Well, in this game of life, you don't want to be skipping grades. It sucks that when you know a lot, you can't handle a lot. I love the sound of birds chirping, the sound of nature. And you always got a nigga driving his car or a motorcycle that has a fucking loud muffler. To ruin the fucking moment. I'm no longer 19, 22 and shit like that. Why I used to like that shit. The times we're in is so good that they have no choice but to place fear tactics upon you. Try and take as much people with what is your purpose. It's never too late. Use this time to find your purpose and make use of it for the better. The betterment of yourself first. And when you get a betterment of yourself, use it for the betterment of society. I learned a lot about YouTube yesterday. I've been hearing about it, but actually going through it, that showed me some shit. A 4-hour stream of talking to niggas was all for nothing. This one may come down to who gives a fuck. I'll take it down. You got the stray cats in the neighborhood, running around. Clone conspiracy. Using clones for organs, for celebrity replacements. The age of awakening, enlightenment. Really, a lot of people ain't waking up to shit. They ain't waking up to nothing. I think to myself, people waking up to their own ideologies. That's what's going on. Said it before. You can't learn everything from just one person. There's no one that has all the answers. You have people that master in positions, in certain ideologies. You can't get every answer from one person. And you're making the mistake by giving people the answer that you think solves the puzzle. Nah. Your area of expertise is archaeology. His area of expertise is melanin, Pan-Africa, Kemet, laws of Ma'at, or scriptures. Her area of expertise is blood types. Their area of expertise, the different versions of Christianity. But they don't have all the answers. One man. So then you find yourself bouncing around and around and around to different fucking ideologies. You're bouncing around and around. What you should be doing is seeing how the puzzle fits with other ideologies. Yeah, we need true community for years now, and a lot of people divided, split it up, Man, like myself, losing channels. Got this fucking bullshit channel I'm starting up with again, which been around, but this was supposed to be a fucking backup. Now, it ain't supposed to be used. I say, hey, fuck it. For hatred, for no reason. What you gotta do is focus your mind to think forward and not in the past. You think forward, you don't think back. You move forward and don't look back. It's all in the past. A lot of shit I went through, wishing I never did. Hey, those wounds, those scars made me who I am today. Live with it. You don't want to think too far ahead either. That's the balance. That's the game of duality. What you want to do is live in the current moment. Leader of this world is powerful enough to actually inject thoughts in your brain. You are lost, my friend. That spirit travels in most of the population thoughts are injected in your mind, where your thoughts are not your own. Think about that. It's supposed to be, but in a lot of cases it's not. Why, when most people think about shit, it's automatically doubt. These things always fuck up for me is that because what you're doing is thinking too much in the future rather than dealing with the present moment in hand. You find yourself going through bad luck now because you keep thinking too far ahead. I said before, life is not made that difficult. It's you that makes life more difficult than it needs to be. Because the Almighty Creator doesn't give you more than you can handle. You can handle pretty much anything you go through. But the thoughts that's injected makes it worse. It's the best time of year when you see things springing up, growing, plants, trees, the birds coming out. How can you have anything else but positive thoughts, high hopes, high expectations for yourself? You have a lot of niggas that say, I am you, you are me. There's bullshit in that too, where I call it out in a lot of platforms. But at the same time, you know what? They are right. I am you, you are me. We're supposed to be uplifting each other. Where you slip, I pick up. I'll give you a piece of my energy when you're down. And when I'm down, somebody gives me a piece of their energy. And when that person's down, somebody else gives them a piece of the energy. That's how life should be circulating. There should be no such thing as poor, broke. And yeah, you need hate in order to have love, right? That's a school. But at the same time, that's just in place for those ones that's left when it comes to full circle, where all you have is love. I know there's a lot of said yesterday's stream. Yeah, it was knocked down 40, right? How did these letters come about, and see how I gave you the connection with the letters, how they come about. When you look at the ABO, ABO, original, it's just really alpha, which is the A, beta, which is the B, and omega, which is the O. That's a true definition of Aboriginal, the original people that had that blood in them. That's where you get the fucking wordplay from. You don't want to fucking deal with this and that because it was given to you by your fucking massa. Let me tell you something. The game of life is way more complex than that. Get up to par. Get your mind thinking properly. Get to where you need to be. Stop fucking around and jumping on bandwagons. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle. What are you going to contribute to the puzzle? That's what you need to be thinking about. Right? Hear the beautiful birds outside chirping. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. See, when they shut down my shit, I just come with something better. Wonderful day in the neighborhood. Walk with me, my friend. And tell you about life. How complex life is. The duality scheme that's been going on in this world. You as a man, this is for you men. You should not be operating in life with negative emotions. If you are a man, regardless of how much a warrior, a rebel, you let nothing get in between that and affect you to become weaker than you already are. A lot of you are weak as fuck already. Dumbed down. Everything around you is meant to bring you down. What you got to do is use that as a tool. So you want to play God now? You want to be a person that's judging somebody, mistaking what you think they're feeling. You're not the person, right? And this is why I said when they say I am you and you are me, yeah, there's truth to it. You know, I find no matter how difficult the game of life gets, I'm at a point where I'm not passive though. But what I can tell you is I'm comfortable with confusion. That's just me. I am comfortable with things that's meant to lower your vibration because I use it as tools to become stronger. Tools to become greater. Ammunition to get where I need to be. So they can put out all this low vibrational stuff. For niggas like me, all it does, it just makes me stronger, more powerful. You combat that. Everything the system gives you, you combat that with love. You know, love destroys all low vibrations already. The funny thing is, there is positive vibrations higher than love. But for some reason, we are in an institution. This world is basically an institution. It's a transit simulation where people has not graduated to go to college yet. Oh, you didn't even graduate to go to middle school yet. You are still in elementary. You didn't graduate from grade 5 yet. So look at love like grade 5. Because there's frequencies more powerful than that. But the average human cannot understand it. They didn't graduate yet. But you just knowing and in tune to love itself and knowing that there's frequencies higher than that, you'll be ready to graduate to that next level. And that's what this world and game is about. So don't look at this CV-19 and these pandemics and all this shit like, oh, it's the end of the world. This confusion and chaos that they put out there. It's great times we're living in. We're just close to graduation. The sad thing is, or the unfortunate thing is, a lot of you are not going to graduate. A lot of you are going to drop out. And a lot of you are going to have to take your course over again. Redo the grade. And a lot of you want to take down people that's graduating with you. So I say you don't do things to expect something back. You do things for the heart. A little walk today, a little nature walk. I don't know if I could bring y'all with me. Stream probably will be fucking up. It is what it is. Do with what you got, right? Make it work. Whatever you got, make it work. I'm noticing a lot of people are not driving their vehicles anymore. Seen a lot of bicycles with motors and electric scooters. It's a beautiful sight. And got a lot of people walking. It's a beautiful sight. This mechanical world that we live in has people lazy. Get up and get out. Make the best. Use your body as a tool. Get a workout while you're at it. Hit damn near 4 birds with 1 stone. I like to say, you ain't doing much. For a lot of people, they ain't doing shit if you're not hitting more than 1 bird with 1 stone. And everything you do, try to hit at least 2 birds. Me damn near, that's not in my forte, my vocabulary. I try and hit at least 3. Try and hit at least 3 birds with 1 stone. And everything I do, that's for the better. That's for the betterment of yourself and others around you. You see, I was talking yesterday a lot about blood. And humanity, which is supporting your brothers and sisters that have their own business away from the system. Hey, we got taxes, right? Taxes are a part of the game. That's all you do give. And for a lot of you that bypass that, kudos to you. For a lot of you who's not able to do that, what you got to do is start supporting your brothers and sisters that have their own business. Stop giving things away to the system like your fucking blood. Because what you have done is support these motherfuckers when it comes to regrowing organisms in order to harvest. Organ harvesting, you got soul harvesting, shit like that. So when we talk about cloning, which is one of the biggest things going on in life, and no, it's not a conspiracy, it's a fact. Everything else is a distraction. You don't want to be giving your... But what happens when you go to test your blood at a clinic or a doctor's office or a fucking hospital? What do you think they do? They're taking damn near 3, 4 fucking tubes outside of you, those little fucking tubes. Filling that shit up with your blood. What do you think that happens with that? When really all you need is a drop. You be careful. This is what I was talking about voodoo dolls yesterday. There's truth to that. But really, voodoo dolls is really talking about clones. But they put it in the form of a doll, so you think it's a fucking science fiction. It's not science fiction. They're using your ass for cloning. be careful with that. And most of us are guilty of it. I am guilty of it. I did it one time. And then you have other parts of you now in alternate realities. Because you made an organism that wasn't meant to be here was a real person at the same time. But it wasn't born the way you were. This is what ignorance does. Doing things without knowledge itself. And you gave your blood, a piece of you, which they're using to harvest and grew inside a test tube. And what do you think happens now? So sometimes your thoughts that you think in your mind, guess what? It's the other you. Those thoughts are injected from something that you gave them without knowing. So your thoughts are not always your thoughts. And this is why it's very important to start thinking from the heart and not the mind. We are all instruments. So when you put the whole world together, right? The world is together, divided by seas and oceans and rivers and lakes because of the cataclysms of continents being shifted. Now we got highs and lows, and we're right in between the highs and lows. We are at leveled surface. But this is what gives me a purpose to keep living. Hearing the natural harmonics. If you're vibrating too low and consuming too many things that the government gives you, guess what? Your instrument is not being played loud enough. So therefore, if your instrument is not being played loud enough, how do you expect to be helped by beings that work for the most highest creator? Or some will say ancestors. Your ancestors didn't go where they're supposed to go. So therefore, a lot of them have a negative vibration to them, and they're not for the better of yourself. So I don't pray to ancestors. Be careful with that ancestor talk. And I see it all the time. Because we, ourselves, when we die, we think generations after we die, hey, there's no such thing as death in my opinion. But I'll just use it for a metaphor or to parallel what I'm saying. When you pass on and leave this realm, and generations after, what do you think they're going to consider you? You are an ancestor. You're labeled an ancestor generations after. And if we are labeled ancestors generations after, we see how evil this world is, right? Right? This world is very evil. So you're telling me that generations after, you're going to pray to us? Just think about it. It's the same thing from ancient times. This is why I don't agree with that ancestor bullshit. I deal with the most highest creator, and that's it. No Jesus, no ancestors, just the most highest creator. And when I say Jesus, I'm not talking about Christ. You see how they mix the two together? Jesus and Christ. You got to be careful. Jesus is not Christ. Christ is somebody else. That name that's injected, that he injected, that's not who he is. His name's not Jesus. And just for the hell of it, fuck it, I do believe in Christ. I fuck with Christ. I don't fuck with Jesus though. No. I don't fuck with a god who is Satan, who is the devil, who is that one that rules over this world, especially through frequencies. I don't fuck with him. You gotta be careful of what you're fucking with, because he has his hand in everything. He has his hand in everything to the point that he even took over the story of that man who they call Jesus. Injected his name in there. If you're not up to par with that, what you should be doing when I talk about putting pieces of the puzzle together, Greek mythology has a lot of that truth, because there is truth in all of these religions and doctrines and ideologies. There's truth in all of them. Bullshit in all of them also. In this world, you gotta dig through the bones. Cannot throw away the baby with the bathwater in this world. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that shit. Throwing away the baby with the bathwater. Can I rephrase it for you? Do I have to rephrase it? When you go into the Greek mythology teaching, it will show you don't even have to. If you're a lazy or you don't like to read like myself, I don't like reading. If you're that person that don't like reading, let's watch this Greek mythology. If you are a good reader, if you're into reading, look at the difference between the Old Testament Jesus and the New Testament Jesus. And when you see that difference, why is the name the same? When you see the difference between those two entities, why is he still called Jesus, right? So he has his hand in everything. And we know Jesus is Zeus. Jesuit, Jesus. Zeus is Jesus. You gotta be careful in this world, because if you're not careful and you stay vibrating low and giving too much of your energy to this world, what you're going to find yourself doing is repeating the class over again. And if life was hard for you already, be sure it may be even harder the next time around. And you don't want that. Repeating a grade just might get even harder the next time around. You gotta be thankful at the same time. You wanna be continuing a life that you have no control over in the first place. So ask yourself, you have full control of this life? Oh shit. You know, when you stare at the... Well, there's truth in that and it's bullshit at the same time. When you stare at the sun, you're out in the sunlight, or the brightness of the spring weather, the sun, summertime, and you come back inside. You go back inside your crib. What do you see? Backfire on you. You can't be unnatural taking in nature. It's going to backfire on you. If you're natural and you're taking in what's natural, it's going to help you for the better. Yeah. You know, this is why they say when this plasma event pops off, a lot of people are going to be destroyed. Not only for a lack of knowledge, but for a lack of being natural. Yeah, you're good, but you're walking in. They was not born naturally. Have fun with it. Make the best out of it. Because all these things are tools to make you more powerful. That's it. And the brighter, actually, the higher that you vibrate, the more rapid that you vibrate, your light is going to shine brighter. Your aura is going to shine brighter. Now, if I did plenty of streams where if you ask me, how do you vibrate higher? I did plenty of streams of showing you what you should be intaking, what you should be consuming to vibrate higher, what you should be avoiding, what you should be staying away from in order to vibrate higher. You want your light to shine. Right? If your light is not shining, how do you expect to be heard by the outside forces? Much less those motherfuckers that speak about ancestors. Your ancestors can't see you if you're not vibrating rapidly. Your light is not shining bright enough for them to give you a helping hand. And if they can't give you a helping hand, why the fuck? Why the fuck? Who you praying to at this point? Who? This is why when you say prayers and you're praying, nothing happens. Because your light is not shining. You're not doing the things that it takes for you to have a rapid vibration. Your aura is so dimmed. You're damn near in the acidic zone. How do you expect to be heard by higher forces, especially if I am you and you are me? So we're amongst a population. This is why some people feel like they're not shit. They're nobody. All these people in the world. So many people in this world. Billions. How do you expect to be heard? Especially if your light is not shining bright enough. And unfortunately, guess what? We live in a dark world because a lot of people are acidic. Most of the population is very acidic. So we live in a very dark world. Wouldn't you want to be the person that stands out when it comes to the higher forces? I'm pretty sure if we live in such a vast world where a lot of people are acidic, I'm pretty sure if you alkaline yourself up to the fullest extent, you're going to stand out. So you're going to see all this blackness and you're going to see like a little spot, a spotlight. Like, what is that? I had this dream, man. I had this crazy dream the other day. But there's truth in your dreams because your dreams are really a director. It's really a directory. I had this dream and there was this dude trying to summon out demons out my old apartment where I used to live in the hood. You know, the projects. He came to my crib. He was in the apartment. He was trying to summon out demons, right, with his book. And I know this guy in real life. His channel, I don't know if it got taken down, what happened to him, but he just disappeared out of nowhere. His name is Garden of Truth and Lies. His channel. Subscribe to him or look at his videos. He got some real good shit. He was summoning out things out of my apartment. And there were spots. I don't know how to explain it fully, but there was little spots, like specks of light that kind of beamed a little bit. Like rice grains. Like I was talking about the color spectrum. When you come from sun gazing and you go inside, it's a little bit darker than outside and you see the color spectrum very clearly. It was like that. But this picture, a little bit of rice grains here and there within that. He said that, I asked, what is those things? What are these little spots, these white spots? He said those are all demonic spirits. And you have no idea what that did for me in real life. because there's a lot of truth to that shit. They're like mini orbs, right? You think about orbs and shit? It was crazy. And it helped me a lot learning that. Because in real life, that's what they are. A lot of these things that you see, these angels of light, these deceivers, deceptive beings, they're really demonic entities, but they come in the form of spirits of light. Because even demons in this world, they're beautiful, right? A lot of beautiful people in this world is actually demons. But they look so beautiful. So beautiful to the point that if you actually seen a righteous angelic individual, you might consider them to be ugly. And you would be surprised, because a lot of angels may not look how they're presented in doctrines. It's the demons that they present in doctrines. They're the ones with all the beauty, shine bright. And really, that's just a false sense of frequency, a false sense of light. You see, discernment in this world is key. Having proper discernment is key. If you don't have proper discernment in this world, you are going down a road, a path of destruction. You have to build proper discernment. And unfortunately, in this world, building proper discernment, it comes with going through turmoil. A lot of turmoil. Hey, I have good discernment. I don't think it's perfect. But in order to even have great discernment, it took me to go through a lot of bullshit, a lot of bad shit that lowered my vibration. Very bad. Fucked with my self-esteem very greatly. But going through that helped me to vibrate higher when the time came. Yeah, I could have vibrated higher without that, but going through that and knowing proper discernment, right from wrong, righteousness, good from bad. When the time came, I was able to vibrate even higher than I would if I had not went through those things. So if I haven't went through those things, like even being stabbed up or shot, if I haven't went through those things, my vibration, yeah, I could still be vibrating high, but it wouldn't have been as high as it is now if I never went through those lower vibrations. So you got to start from the ground up, right? There's some type of peace when it comes to nature. You hear I don't know if you guys can hear the wind blowing. Maybe that's why this shit is fucking up the stream. Could be the wind. But I get a sense of peace being out here with the trees and the plants. There's something about it that just seeing the insects move around. And you know already insects are part of the serpents, right? I don't know why people always think about snakes when they think about serpents. Serpents doesn't have to do just snakes, because if serpents was just snakes, this is why people like to mix up words and shit like that. If two things have different words, it doesn't mean they're the same thing. Because if serpent just meant snake, why use serpent when you can just use the word snake? So serpents have a lot to do with actually creepy crawling creatures. Like a centipede is a serpent. Yeah, it's an insect. But it's an insectoid, but it's also a serpent. And if you're a motherfucker that likes to deceive people and you creepy crawl your way around to the top and like to fuck with people, you yourself is a serpent. You know, the fucking draconians and shit like that. You think they're just reptiles? Yeah, and you had a lot of beings in the fucking past. You had damn near. You think they're. You see, they made these things in the cartoons, but it's real fucking beings. And guess what? They fucking still exist now in this realm, maybe. Not only underground, but in the next reality. That's hidden away from us, because we're so stuck with what they give us to the point people don't even want to travel. People don't want to see the world, what the world has. Oh, I've been everywhere. You've been everywhere. If you've been everywhere, you wouldn't be here right now. Because if you've been everywhere, I'm pretty sure you would have stayed your ass over there. Fucking idiots. Oh, I've seen the world. You travel all over. Yeah, you think so. How you seen that shit and you an acidic motherfucker? Get the fuck out of here. All you seen was the world, right? On this part of life. Holy shit. Oh, I seen the world. Get the fuck out of here. I'm pretty sure even the fucking biggest celebrity. I'm pretty sure even the most richest celebrities get tired of this bullshit. The funny part is that they know that a lot of us was going to cross over. So what they did was infiltrate that side also. So they didn't just infiltrate one side. They infiltrated the next side also. That's how fucked up we are. Hold up. My bad. You're talking to my sis, Nikki C. You know, I hope you guys enjoying the beautiful morning and the fucking shit that we speaking about this morning. Plan to do an all girls panel, you know, with just a female, all females, all women panel. Try and make it happen, you know, in the future. I don't know if y'all heard the conversation, but we plan to do some stuff, you know, and hope a lot of females show up. And I think when the females come together in a common ground, especially for like righteousness, positivity, I think things will grow for the better. Things will get a lot better. And why I say that is men work, if you really think about it, even if you're an alpha or whatever, who gives a fuck, you do a lot of things basically for a female's validation, which you should be doing things for your own validation, your own self. But a lot of you men live for the female. You live for the woman. And when you live for the woman, you're fucking yourself over. You need to be living for yourself and for the betterment of the society. You don't do things because you're trying to pick up females or turn on females and shit like that. And I think like if this shit works out, when you get the woman together, when she changes the face of how men look at women, when women come together for the better, the right woman, positive woman, righteous woman, and it gets bigger and the bigger it gets, a lot of men are going to be starting to change their perspective. Because if a female makes the game a little bit harder for these men that's weak, they spit a little game. You know those games, you can go on a website and learn what to talk about when you ask women questions, how to get in her drawers and all that. You see these websites and these social media platforms and all this shit, this way this engine is formulating people's minds. When the right women come together, it's going to collapse that shit. And guess what? You men are going to have to work harder for the pussy. You're gonna have to bust your balls to get in a woman's drawers. Real woman and breeding woman. You know, they want a leader. Women want leaders. The thing is, the first approach, they come through as if they are real leaders, and they deceived you, or you end up having a kid for a weak man, or a dude who's not who he says he was at the beginning. Deceivers. And vice versa too. A lot of good men pick up women and find out they're not who they thought they were in the beginning. But knowing that everything comes from a woman, what's going to happen if the right woman come together and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger? The world will begin to heal. There's too much people in the world, too many continents. Even cities are just a speck on the world map, where you can destroy the world, but you can't destroy this side of the world. You bring minds together, even within a speck of the population. You can destroy everything around it, but you can't destroy that dot. That's how people should be thinking. And the more dots that you have in the world, the more dots, that more people that's doing this shit. Oh, it's working. Other people are going to try it too. They get successful. Then other people watching their platforms want to start up their shit because they're inspired. It gets successful. And then you have more specks around the world, or the continents of the world. And guess what happens? Nature begins to heal itself. It's that simple. People make it difficult though. It's really that simple. People need to start living for the better. Start doing things for the betterment of others. I'm at a point right now where I don't even give a fuck about grown people at this point. I care about the kids, the younger generation that's coming up. Kids, especially babies, is my passion. I love kids just like I love nature. I love women and kids, but especially kids. You got to get to them from a young age, correct them before the system corrects them. Raise them before the system begins to raise them. Give them knowledge on the system that's trying to raise them before the system raises them. Don't make the school raise your kids. You raise them. And how can you properly raise a kid if you are a weak motherfucker? You will just be raising a weak motherfucker. Turning the kid into a weak motherfucker. We are all unfortunate. So I disagree with a lot of people that say that, I agree with them too, because there is that. It is true. It's true, but it's bullshit at the same time. Just like everything in this world. Everything is truth and bullshit at the same time. If you really think about it, when they say that a woman can't raise a man, yeah, that's true, but it's bullshit at the same time, right? I came from a single mother household, and look what the fuck I came out to be. You try things for yourself and stop getting opinions on what you're trying before you try it. Where you shun away from it and you don't try it because all you heard was negative reviews. You ever want to buy something on Amazon or something like that? You want to buy a product and then you read the reviews on the product, and all you're seeing is negative reviews, and you see 1, 2 good reviews, and you're trying to make up your mind and say, it's not enough good reviews. But then you buy the product for yourself because maybe that was the only option that was there and you needed that product. And you bought it. And regardless of all the negative reviews that you've seen, the product turned out to be awesome. It's like, this is awesome. Why does everybody give us a bad review? You see, that's your perspective. That's why you try things out for yourself and stop listening to other people. You're going for a job, for example. You had friends that used to work there, you know people that used to work there, and you ask them how's that job and this and that, and all they hear is bad reviews. So all you hear is this negative shit about the workplace and this and that. And say you go and try it for yourself, and you end up saying this job ain't that bad. You don't listen to people. You can acknowledge them, apply it, and see if it's what it turns out to be. If you're somebody like me, where I'm always the opposite, where it's like, okay, it turns out to be for the better. It always turns out to be for the better. If you try it yourself, you may have a different opinion or aspect on the situation at hand. Stop listening to people and try things for yourself. Stop listening to people and do your own research. Don't just research, put it into action. And stop talking like a lot of these true community motherfuckers, where all they do is just chat, yip yap, yippity yap. Not knowing that what they're saying is bullshit at the same time, along with truth. And when you learn that what you're speaking about has bullshit in it, along with truth, what you should start doing is pick out those bones of bullshit that's in your truth. And the more bones you pick out, you'll be more truthful. You're stuck just talking about the same shit. Circling around, the same bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. The world we live in. Subscribe to my nigga Naughty Beaver. He's awesome. Subscribe to him, because he'll give you some game of this life. Naughty Beaver. If you don't know how to spell naughty, this is how it's spelled. Look, Google naughty if you don't want to spell it. Naughty Beaver, like the animal beaver. Subscribe to my nigga. You give niggas game on life. Look at his old videos. A lot of people have similar outlook like I do. So we're speaking about, we started this off with portals, escaping reality. I wouldn't advise to try to escape reality if you haven't learned shit. Why you want to escape something that you never even learned nothing about? You think, it's funny because there was once upon a time where I thought I was woke. I remember back in like 2012 or some shit like that, 2011, 2008 or some shit. That's when I came to my awakening, in 2008, right? It took me to get stabbed up where my hand was dead. I couldn't use my fingers or nothing, they're all dead. And I was in a cast for like damn near 3 months, and then 3 to 6 months. And it was a rehab situation where I had to rehabilitate my hands and shit. And I remember I couldn't work or nothing like that. I was stuck. I think I was on welfare or something. I don't remember how I was getting money, but I was getting money somehow. Along with using women back then, and which I regret, but it made me who I am today, where I'm stronger. I have a lot of respect for women at this point in my life, And one thing I'll tell you, I used to think that the veil was lifted off of my eyes. But then you begin to come into a situation where a couple years passes, and then you start to see things even differently. So what you thought you knew before, that you thought was true, begins to become bullshit. But it was true. You begin to go into situations where you have to unlearn everything that you learned, which had a lot of jewels in there at the same time. But when you relearn things, those jewels become diamonds. So you have to unlearn everything you ever thought you knew in order to relearn something new, which just amplified the things that you knew previously. So a lot of you motherfuckers that's just getting into truth and thinking that you're woke, you got a long way to go. You think you know something, and you might be right. but you're going to learn something down the line the more you stay into truth that you never knew shit in the first place. And I guarantee you, all the things I'm saying right now, it may be 5 years down the line where I have to unlearn everything I'm talking to you about right now, even if it's helping somebody, just to learn something new. That's how crazy life can get. That's how crazy life is. And I like it. This is why I say this psychological school called life. You can't hate it. It's making you stronger. It's preparing you. You know, even your world leaders are preparing you. Yeah, we hear about all the shit that they do behind the scenes. You know, these sacrifices and babies being killed and the adrenochrome, and we hear about all these things that these world leaders do, right? What you gotta understand is, regardless of all the negative shit that they do, they are helping you at the same time. You'll be surprised. The system that's trying to kill you is also helping you, as long as you're using the tools for the betterment of yourself. The problem is, not enough people are using the tools for the betterment of themselves. You see the duality in that? You're damn right the world leaders want to wipe out a lot of people. They do. And they don't like you, especially if you're on top of shit, right? But at the same time, there's a spirit in them that they can't control, or they gotta feed you jewels if you're that powerful enough to use what they do to you for the betterment of yourself if you survive it. So at the same time, they're evil as fuck, but at the same time, they ain't that evil. It's crazy life we live in, man. Get hip to the game or be left behind. The system ain't waiting for you, I'll tell you that. Time ain't waiting for no man. It either goes fast or slow. You know when you're a kid and you got a lot of thoughts in your head? And it might be scary to a lot of kids that actually think that they'll never learn because they have so much thoughts, so much questions, to the point where they think that they're not going to be up to par in life. Those are going to be the kids that have the best mind if they don't get manipulated systematically or unnaturally manipulated. Those are going to be the strongest kids. Because I remember when I was a kid and I had so much questions to the point where I think that I wouldn't learn things. I'm not going to be up to par. All those questions are going to be answered for you when you go through shit in life. And unfortunately, a lot of adults are like kids because you find yourself just getting into truth and you have all the questions that a kid would have when they're down there 9, 10 years old. So I tell parents, listen to your children. You'll be surprised. Your kids are a lot smarter than you are. They may not be systematically smarter, but they're organically smarter. You know why? Because they're more pure. Unfortunately, in this world, they start off pure and get corrupted by the serpent seed. And I already gave y'all yesterday. I might have to reiterate or regurgitate. Not on this stream today, though. I might have to go through it another time because I said a lot yesterday. I'm giving you the ABO, the Aboriginal, the Alpha, Beta, Omega, right? Aborigines. I went to the Indigenous. Those are the seeds that come out, that's supposed to be leading the world, coming out righteous. They're the farmers, the planters, the nurturers of humanity and nature. But in this world, it's twisted upside down. You're working a job fixing cars or some bullshit. Making products for a fucking institution or a company that's not even natural. You know what the problem in society is? One of the biggest problems is people are not in their field of expertise. You went and took that job because it makes you money. Just because the job makes you money, you took it, right? That's a problem. A lot of people are doing jobs and stuff like that that's not really for you. So therefore, you have a bus driver. He took that job because it makes good money and he knows how to drive a bus. But really, that's not your passion. Your passion may be taking care of children or animals or something natural. And you're not in your job of expertise because maybe you didn't study for it or you need this to qualify or this and that. And the more people in society that's doing jobs that's not really for them, the society begins to become corrupted. Because now you go to your job in the morning with an attitude. So you got these evil, wicked, bad-minded bus drivers or somebody working in a fucking McDonald's or a fast food restaurant that doesn't belong there. And your sandwich is made sloppy. You got attitude. Back, left, right, front. Every fucking where you go, you got attitude because people are not doing what they're meant to be doing. So we live in a time right now where you got to figure out what you're supposed to be doing in order to have a better world. And that's what's going to happen. The tables are going to turn where you're going to be forced to do what's natural. Because what you should be doing in the first place, every company in the first place should be natural. If you're not natural, you shouldn't be doing that. You don't work for a company that's selling the population chemicals and shit that's going to lower their vibration and expect to be happy in the future. Oh, we're living for today. I'm living to maintain my rent for the month or my mortgage or my fucking car note or my insurance. So I'm going to do this job. That's your fucking problem. And that's what most people are doing. And that's a collective energy that's been taking over this world because you're doing jobs that you don't belong in. You're in a field that you don't belong in. And a lot of these fields, unfortunately, is selling unnatural products. This is the world we live in. Say hello. So we live in a time now that's going to correct things. We live in a time now where you're going to be forced to do what's natural. You know why? Because when that reset takes place, this plasma event, a lot of your internet, your social medias, the false frequencies that come through the radio and the TV, it's all going to be shut down. Kudos. Sad to say for the engineers out there, the music producers out there, that make sure you get your fucking hard drive up to par. Get a terabyte, put all that shit on that hard drive. Just in case. You know, nature doesn't need man to prosper anyways. Nature is just doing you a favor. It doesn't need you. Nature didn't need alpha. Nature didn't need beta to prosper. I'm saying alpha and beta because that's basically the Adam and Eve story. What they give you, what society gives you. But really, it's talking about Adam, which was the alpha. Beta was Eve. The omega was the snake in the garden. Right? The snake in the garden that infiltrated shit, which plays out in today's society with all our blood types and our background. Unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time, people are mixed up nowadays. So therefore, you have righteous people that have O's, and you got evil people that have A's, vice versa. And sometimes it still plays out naturally too, at the same time, along with the mix-up. This is why I say, people, learn your blood type while you can, before it's too late. If you don't know your blood, learn what you are before it's too late, because your blood says a lot about you. This is why you have spiritual families, you got spirit groups, and you got your physical family in this world, right? Your physical family in this world is not your spiritual family in most cases. It's not the same. So your mother and father in this world, or your siblings, may not necessarily be your spiritual family in most people's cases, because some people don't share the same blood as their mother and father. Some people don't share the same blood as their siblings. This is what I spoke about yesterday. You see, this system fucked up things so badly. When you get that fucking immunization needle to enable the birth, this is why it's important to know your partner's blood type. This is why you got a lot of miscarriages going on in this fucking world. Because when you say you're a positive and you sleep with a woman who's a O negative, guess what happens? Her body begins to abort the fetus. It looks at the baby that's undeveloped yet as unnatural, is foreign to her system. So what do you think happens now? The system made something called an immunization needle that enables an unnatural birth. And this is why we live in a world today of people who's fucking evil. Because you're bringing people into this world that don't belong here. This is what the system did. You know why they do it too? Because when you die, they have more organs. They have more organs to deal with. This is why your organs get taken out of your fucking body when you're a corpse. So they enable these births. The more people, the better, right? But at the same time, they're decreasing the population. You see the duality in that? This is the world we live in, my friend. Get up to par or get left behind. Time waits for no man. So you know what the fuck you're sleeping with. And on top of that, you're taking on spirits anyways. Sleeping with numerous men or women, whatever your gender is. You're a woman sleeping with all these men. You're taking on all these fucking demons and demons. And then you got this dude who sleeps with you in the future. Maybe you settle down and you don't want to live that life no more. From all that fucking dick that yours taking, now you have a kid with this new guy who slept with you within the past 3 years or something like that. His kid begins to look like somebody in the past that you screwed. It's his kid, though. It's his kid, but he doesn't look nothing like him. It looks like that dude that you fucked before him. This is the world we live in, my friend. Get used to it. I ain't get used to shit, though. And I seen that my whole life growing up. Niggas that had to take that blood test because they weren't sure if that kid was his. And it was his. It's your kid. Yeah, it looks like that dude, though, right? Looks like that nigga that she was cheating on you with, right? If a lot of you men were doing the right things in the first place, you wouldn't go through that. If a lot of you men were being an actual man of integrity, stand on what you believe in and stop being a little fish face fraud, soft motherfucker, you wouldn't go through that in the first place. So the woman is there to teach you life. This is why I don't regret the shit I went through in the past with women. They taught me life. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Ain't it a beautiful day? Wonderful day. You see things grow, you see the fucking creatures come out and birds flying around and chirping. Beautiful day. Wonderful. It's so beautiful, I'm gonna take a walk to the liquor store. Let's have fun this morning. Let us have fun. There's so much shit to touch on, so much things to talk about. You see what YouTube does to my ass. I got 2 messages telling me what's happening with the stream. I got Nikki C call me, tell me this happened in the stream. You see what's going on with my ass. So there's obviously something I'm doing right. That's duality for your ass. Rock with your boy. After this, I'm gonna go inside and see if I get this shit popping. Got something called StreamYard or some shit. I'm gonna see if I get some up rolling where we can have like open panels and shit like that. And for the women that get to see this, I hope you come on and rock with us. You know, rock with your boy. Have fun, you know, and build the woman, build up the woman, you know. When you build up the woman, you'll be automatically building up the man. You gotta rebuild the man. And it starts with the woman. It can be vice versa too. When you build up the man, the woman will change, but fuck it, like, we know this the system is really in favor of the woman and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's a man's world, right? See the balance there. So you gotta build up the woman, because it seems like a lot of these men do everything they do for women or to attract women if you're a straight motherfucker. So I want to start with a woman on my side. Some people, they can build up the man too. I agree with that, build the man up. But on my side, I want to start with a woman, you know. But there's already people that's building up the man and shit like that. In the words of Jesse Lee Peterson. Have your last smoke with your boy. For those that have kids, go with your kid, tell them you love them. Listen to your kids, hear them out. Don't spoil them, because your kids will appreciate you much more when it comes to righteous, tough love. So you show them love, but at the same time, don't be passive at all. Especially in this system of unrighteousness. Never be passive. Speak your mind. Put your foot down. You put your foot down. And stand on what the fuck you believe in. A lot of people are scared of getting old. I'm stoked out. I can't wait to see how I'm gonna be when I'm 50. This is how I am now. Man, I can't wait to see how the fuck I'm gonna be when I'm 50. Know what I mean? Age for the better. I'm planting some seeds too. I don't know if I could bring y'all back there. Um, I don't know, fuck it. I might show you niggas. I'm planting some marijuana plants. I should have been doing that from about a month ago, but I think it was still have enough time, like 2 months in the summer, 3 months, you know. I'm pretty sure I get some buds out of that, you know. And I like to make marijuana tea, you know. So I grow even the leaves, I'll grow it. Even the male plants. Like the male plants is still useful for me. Like, you know, the female plants produce the buds and shit, right? But I still use the male plants for even the tea. I boil the leaves and shit. It's a great feeling, you know, to have marijuana tea, you know. Um, Last summer was a great feeling for me, and that was the first time I really did gardening type shit. And you know, the bees were all around me, like honey bees and shit like that. They pollinate marijuana plants and even the fucking tomato plants and all that. It was awesome them being around me and not even stinging me, right? It's a good feeling, like seeing that shit. It's like a working together type shit, you know? I tell y'all, man, get used to make use of the weather. I know some of y'all have warm climates all year round, like LA and all these places, like, you know, Cali and Florida and all these places. Here in North America, like we gotta deal with the winter and shit like that. So for people that have to deal with the winter, like the four seasons type shit, you know, you want to make use of the summer as much as you can. You know, go out there, fucking sleep under the sun, lay down, get that sunlight. You know what I mean? I should be talking to y'all under the sun right now. I'm in the shade, but you know what I mean. You want to make use of as much sun as you can. You know, you'd be surprised what the sun can do for you. It can change your emotion too. When you're too acidic though, the sun can very hinder you. But that's good because it shows you that you're not vibrating rapidly. If you're not vibrating rapidly, that means you're not vibrating high. You don't have a high frequency. If you don't have a high frequency, your prayers and your silent prayers and all this shit that you do is not going to be answered. And if it gets answered, it just might be answered by a fucking demon. You gotta be careful. I go deep right now, but I don't want to take it easy. You know what I mean? I go a little deep, but go deep on some artificial type of shit. You know, artificial intelligence type shit. But I'll take it easy for a bit. You know what I mean? I'll wait till, you know what I mean, that good mood, that fucking vibe where it can go off. But where I am right now, I'm just in the mood to just sit down. That's why you see me a little bit silent right now. Cause I'm just kind of taking in the weather and the breeze and shit like that. Sometimes I just zone out, you know. So forgive me if you see me quiet at quiet moments, you know. Cause I can talk a lot, but I'm very quiet at the same time. See my balance? I'm a duality motherfucker. I'm well balanced in every aspect of myself. Where Pre can talk, but at the same time, you see me zone out every now and then. And sometimes I just want to stay zoned out, but I'm on the live with you guys, so I'm kind of talking, make use of it. You know what I mean? But I'm in that mood right now where I could just meditate. I feel it right now. Where I could just like sit under the sun and just like zone out. Stare at the sun and fall asleep to it. See behind your eyelids is like a fucking movie theater, you know? Those vessels that's attached to your eyelids. It's literally like a movie theater. It's like a screen, the big screen. Your penile is somehow connected to those vessels. It's crazy. The shit I seen in my life, the astral projections that I seen. I'm not talking about astral traveling. I'm talking about the projections. And when I meditate to the projection, I can just go right in there. I can't always do it though, because there's times where I'm maybe not vibrating as high as I should. But I make use of projections, astral projections, and that turns into a travel. I only started doing that. I'm still young to this shit, to tell you the truth, when it comes to the astral shit. I mean, I've been going through a lot of sleep paralysis my whole life and shit like that, but when it comes to actually astral traveling and knowing, being aware of it and shit like that, it was only like from last year. The end of last year is when the first time I went through it. I think it was like last October or something like that. I went through it on a level, you know, seeing my body still sleeping type shit. Looking back at my body, I'm sleeping, but so it let me know that I'm in the spirit form. It's such a natural feeling. It feels like so natural. If you can bypass the pain of death, you know, when you're vibrating high as fuck, think about this now. You have a lot of people that's good people, but that died in a very gruesome, harsh way. Don't feel too scared and like, why? He was such a good person. Why did he die like this? What you gotta think about is, it may have looked bad to you, but on his side, he was at peace. So you see somebody getting shot the fuck up, their head blown off, or some bullshit like that. Sometimes it's not what you think it is. It looked bad from you looking in, but he was at peace. He didn't feel the pain, dying. I think that's how nature looks out for its people. People that's righteous, down for a good cause. Shit like that. That's why I say vibrate high, because you never know when you're going to go. And if you go in a gruesome way, if you're vibrating high, it's not going to be as bad to you as how it looks to somebody looking in. That's why you always got to stand on what you believe in. That's the game of life. Be real with yourself. Don't be fake. I'm pretty sure when you're vibrating low now and you die the same way that dude died, that person died, it's going to hurt. It may hurt you a lot more than it would have because you're in a low vibrational state. So when you die in a very violent way and shit like that, and you're low vibrational, expect to have a lot of pain before you go. Especially if you have a bad attitude towards life and people and shit like that. But if on the flip side, if you die in a high vibrational state, it may not be as bad as it looks. And I can guarantee that. Literally, I can guarantee it. Getting your memory erased from past lives and all that shit. They say crime don't pay, right? A lot of people, it does pay. What are you doing the crime for? Your intentions mean a lot to your well-being. Your intentions, what you're living for, what you're doing shit for, all that shit. I'm gonna rock with y'all for 10 more minutes, you know what I mean? Finish off this. It's crazy, you know. Get out, liquor store. Hopefully I catch whoever catches this, hopefully later on, you know. I want y'all to get what I'm saying. How many of you are comfortable at looking at yourself in the mirror? Yeah, some people that can't stare at themselves for a long time in the mirror, you know what I mean? They're so fucking government manipulated to the point they have a lot of bad memories and they're not comfortable in their own skin. Therefore, it's hard for them to look at themselves in the mirror. If you're a person that has that problem, you got to start going to the root of situations. What made you like this? Why? Why is it that you think like this? Or maybe you just might be in a low